What's up YouTube? It's that time again to compare a smartphone camera to a $50,000 red weapon. Today we're going to be using the brand new out-of-the-box stock LG V30 without any external lenses or third-party apps. Now the reason we're using this smartphone camera over others is because LG loaded the V30 with features that I have yet to see in a smartphone camera. So I wanted to see it in action stacked up against a cinema camera. So a couple unique features about the V30 that makes it stand out. First would be the f1.6 aperture lens. What that means is that it can shoot better in low light situations without getting too much noise in the image. It also has a 10-bit image sensor, which means it can capture a wider range of colors. It also sports a dual camera. The first is a 4K 16 megapixel camera, replicating the focal length of about a 30mm lens on a full frame camera. The second camera is a 13 megapixel camera that is quite a bit wider at around a 14mm equivalent on a full frame camera, which is great for shooting scenic landscapes. It also has manual mode functionalities, so you don't need to buy any third-party apps in order to have full control over exposure, white balance, focus, and other settings. It also claims 11 stops of dynamic range and log recording capabilities called LG CineLog, which gives you much more flexibility in post for color grading, and the log files are compatible with both DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro. And because it shoots large 4K files, one thing I really like about this phone is it has the ability to add micro SD cards, so I can shoot all day long without running out of memory and easily transfer my footage to my computer. So there you have it, a lot of awesome features packed into this phone. But we are now going to replicate one of my favorite movie scenes, the longboarding scene from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, with the V30 taped on top of my Red to compare the footage side by side so you can see how this phone camera stacks up to a cinema camera. And because I live in Utah, this will be the Utah version of the scene since we couldn't make it all the way out to Iceland, so here we go. Kind of roll across frame, right? Go ahead, Doug. Oh, that's sick.
One more time. I get so nervous.
Nice. Yeah, let's be honest, this kid is just a face. He's the athlete, he's the star. This is just a face.
Yeah, go for it.
Woo! Things are getting a little sketchy. That's a rip. Now, before I show you the side-by-side comparison, here's the longboard scene shot entirely on the LG V30. Check it out. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are going to complain about the fact that we use big expensive drones and stabilizers alongside the phone in order to get these shots. So I made sure to capture some of the shots using an affordable 3-axis gimbal. This guy is called the Smooth Q. This is actually the Smooth 3. Smooth Q is a little brother you can get for about 140 bucks. So don't feel like you need expensive rigs to achieve the shots we got. Again, we only use those big rigs so you could compare the quality to the Red by having them on the exact same rig so you can compare them at the same time. So now let's take a look at the V30 footage side by side with the Red weapon footage and let me know how you think they compare. As you can see, when the Red weapon has a lens with a similar focal length and shooting at a higher aperture, it's hard for the untrained eye to see a clear difference in quality. Again, my point in doing these comparisons isn't to say that a phone is nearly as good as a cinema camera, but that if you know how to use the tools within your camera, you can create similarly stunning images to that of a cinema camera. And with the LG V30, it's easier than ever to shoot professional looking videos thanks to all the amazing tools and features built right into the camera. Specifically, something I really liked about shooting with the V30 is the manual focus that shows focus peaking so you can really get your focus spot on every time. It was also nice to be able to adjust color temperature, shutter speed, frame rate, and being able to shoot in log, allowing me to capture a lot more detail in the shadows and highlights for more flexibility in post while color grading. And because the V30's log files are compatible with both DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro, this allows you to really customize your color grade on a whole new level. So here's a look at some of the grading I did to these clips in post to help them match the Red weapon footage. In the Walter Mitty scene, they used a variation of an orange and teal look. So I've used this M31 LUT from Color Grading Central to achieve a similar look. Like I've talked about in other videos, this teal and orange look is super popular in Hollywood films as it gives you color contrast, helping separate your subject from the background. I then go through and adjust the color temperature, exposure levels, RGB curve, then maybe add a little vignette, and that's about it. So that's it, nothing too fancy, pretty simple for anyone to achieve, and quite impressive that this smartphone footage can hold up that well to such a heavy color grade. Also, DaVinci Resolve actually has a free version of their software, so you don't even have to invest in editing software to pull off the same look in post. So there you have it. Personally, I was super impressed with the LG V30 and its camera capabilities, and it takes a lot for me to say that since I am a self-declared Apple fanboy, but LG really set the bar high on this smartphone camera by adding so many features that I have yet to see in any other smartphone. But that's all I've got. Hope you enjoyed this fun comparison. To learn more about the LG V30 and some of its more consumer-friendly features like the in-camera color grading presets, the point zoom, and their own video editing software all inside the phone. You can click here to check that out, but that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any further questions, please let me know.